everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joey the Veiled Cottage Witch, and this is another episode of my Celtic Tree Ogham series. We are on the second branch and the fourth Ogham, which is Coll, Hazel for lefties. That's how I remember them anyway. And this is the second branch, the branch of gaining wisdom. So we only have one more in this branch, and then we move on to the next branch, which I believe is the branch of transformation. I'll have to get back to you on that. One thing at a time. So this is Coll Hazel, which is the CK in the Celtic alphabet, and this is known as the poet's tree. This is one of my favorite trees to talk about. I absolutely love the hazel tree. So this is a chieftain tree, and it is a very, very sacred tree. To fell it or cut it down, in other words, is unlawfully earned the death penalty in Breyan law. So it is very, very protected. So yeah, you just don't cut down a hazel tree. You just don't. So hazels are synonymous with the quest for poetic and druidic wisdom in the Celtic tradition. So we're talking about shamanic wisdom here, as in an awareness of all things. So pretty important to all of nature and the sacredness of nature running through everything. So let's take a look at the hazel. I absolutely love hazelnuts, first of all. And the larger hazelnuts are actually called filberts. So just a little trivia there. I love the beautiful leaves and I love the wood. I just love everything about hazel trees in general. And then let's check out the green man here and see if we can find that face. Let's see, where's that face? Oh, there it is. Can you see the face? There's the nose and the eyes. Very old, very, very sacred. So there's a lot of symbolism in this tree. We've got a well, a spring, we've got a salmon, and we've got the hazelnuts here. Absolutely beautiful. The leaves are absolutely gorgeous, and we'll take a look at those with some pictures very soon. So the hazel was said to hold all wisdom, and that was known as Awen or Imbus, the inspiration of all things, where creativity comes from. And all of that is held within the hazelnut. So hazelnuts were consumed in legend by the sacred salmon of wisdom, the oldest and wisest of animal spirits, who dwelled in Connla's well near Tipperary in Ireland. And this well was also known as Nectan's well and the well of Sigas. I'm sure I'm not saying that correctly. This is the mythical source of all the rivers of Ireland. So magical and so full of so many stories. So the salmon ate only nuts from the 9 sacred hazel trees that surrounded the pool, relating hazel to the number 9 as it is the 9th Ogham. So there's 5 trees within each branch. So this would be the 4th one in this branch, making it the 9th Ogham. So the salmon swam out to sea and back again, transmitting this wisdom from spirit or the sea to generation after generation via this magical process. So eating the salmon of wisdom lent knowledge of all arts and sciences. And this was the fate of the hero Fionn Macamal, who is also connected to the Hazel, as mythology tells us that the best Celtic warriors were educated in Druidic wisdom. How beautiful. Love that. So hazels are sacred to Angus MacOg, the god of love and eloquence, who carried a hazel wand, and that's him right here. Isn't he lovely? So ancient Irish messengers also carried hazel wands as tokens of being under his dominion and protection. So he kind of is a big deal. So his words, friend of cracking, suggest the hazel's willingness to aid mortals in the cracking or dismantling of mental and spiritual programming to become able to flow in and out of things. Sound like the salmon of wisdom, right? Thus gaining divine wisdom. How cool is that? Now, another translation of the word Ogham for the hazel, friend of nutshells, also refers to this gaining of divine wisdom. Even today, the term in a nutshell means someone's understanding of a subject being complete and simple in its synopsis. Yeah, that comes from the hazelnut. Isn't that cool? I love finding little trivial information for you guys. Now, in British folklore, particularly in the Southwest, silver snakes are said to surround hazel roots. This is its vibrant life force, its awen, the ability to be connected and understand all things as swift as thought. Now think about how quickly thoughts are, right? Hazel is said to be under the rulership of Mercury, and there are many connections between the hazel and the god Mercury, or Hermes, who oversees matters of communication and knowledge, among many other things. Both these messenger gods carry a staff of hazel, sometimes depicted with ribbons or silver snakes wrapped around it. These silver snakes became the caduceus. We see this symbol everywhere on doctors' coats, a sign of medicine, of healing, right? Hazel is also sacred to Brigid, the fiery goddess of poetry and the hearth, and through her with death rites and keening, or ritualized mourning. Now, keening features in the tale of the Battle of Moytura, where Brigid keened for the death of her son. Here, the hazel aided communication between life and death. The old Irish Gaelic name for hazel is Caltween, the loss of something. Yeah. Very sad when she lost her son. Now, hazel was known as a life-giving tree from Old English beliefs and was also known as a fairy tree. The Brothers Grimm fairy tale of Cinderella, I love this story, tells of how a hazel sapling grew up from the mother's grave and her bones had transformed it into a powerful wishing tree that sheltered doves, acting as Cinderella's protectors. The tree also brought her the magical slippers and a golden dress to wear to the ball. There was no fairy godmother, but a hazel tree instead. How cool is that, you guys? Disney changed everything. Yeah, so there's that. Now on to practical and magical uses. So hazel has a really strong connection to water, obviously, right? And its wood was the traditional forked stick of the dowser or the water witch. Now, dowsers can find deep water sources using forked wands in a specific way to show where to dig a well. It was said that by using a hazel wand specifically, one could locate buried springs or even silver or gold. If a rod was cut on Midsummer's Eve while approaching the tree backwards and dug with both hands between one's legs, one was able to find hidden treasure. That would be very difficult. Anybody want to try that? Let me know. Now, necklaces made of hazelnuts have been found in prehistoric tombs, thought by some to be amuletic in nature. Now, hazel rods or a rosary made from hazelnuts was believed to be lucky and could be hung in the home as a protection charm. Now, burning the nuts in the hearth after they became old was a way to keep prosperity in the home. And from medieval times, hazel was known to be a fertility symbol. That's not a hard stretch, knowing that it was the life force of the tree. So you can place, here's some little spells you can do. Place a circle of hazel leaves or a small wreath made with a pliable branch on your altar for aid in all forms of magic, all forms. Now, during divination sessions, place a forked hazel branch on your altar or table for guidance. Now, all of these, you can simply use the Ogham. So don't fret. Hang a hazel stick above your altar or over a doorway to foster protection and raise defensive energy. Use a hazel stick to draw a magic circle for extra protection. In place of a stick, use a brown candle prepared with hazel oil and carved with the Ogham Coll. Let's see. Place a handful of dried leaves or a few hazelnuts on your desk or workspace to stimulate inspiration and creativity. The leaves and nuts are an aid when initiating changes, and they provide support for all forms of communication. Think about Hermes and Mercury, right? Leaves or a small twig on your altar during meditation will help you connect to your inner wisdom. Use hazel to amplify the energy of dark moon rituals. Eat a few hazelnuts or have some Nutella. Yum. Before magic or psychic work. Also eat them before shamanic journeying to aid in acquiring knowledge. String 9 hazelnuts together, consecrate them at Samhain, and then hang them in your home as a protective amulet and to bring good luck. Beautiful. Now on to our linked concepts. These are going to be your keywords for when to use them for magic, when you can use your sigil, or if you have hazel leaves or the wood, or the hazelnuts. So here's your linked concepts: poetic inspiration, wisdom, astral traveling, communication, creative ability, emotional release, and psychic ability. Those are your go-to words. And now on to your correspondences. The elements are water, air, and fire. Your zodiac are Gemini, Leo, Libra, and Virgo. Your deities are Brigid, Danu, Demeter, Diana, Hermes, Mercury, Ungismikog, Odin, Oma, Thor, and Rhiannon. Your colors, brown, silver, and any soft shades. Your totems. Salmon, obviously. Any crustaceans, turtle, tortoise, hare, crane, owl, fairies, and a crab. Your calendar, June 13th to July 10th, the 9th lunation. Makes sense, it's the 9th Ogham. And June and July. Your related species are going to be your linden or your sweet chestnut. So there's your correspondences. Now, your medicinal properties. Hazel is not used herbally, but the nuts are thought to be a great source of nutrition, rich in healthy fatty acids, vitamin E and B, and numerous minerals. The nuts are used to make butter and milk, and it's delicious. And the nuts are often cooked with, you guessed it, salmon. I bet that's so delicious. Now, crosses made of hazel wood were once thought to draw poison from snake bites and to help cure a toothache. Ground hazelnuts were used to help fever and excessive menstrual flow, as well as diarrhea. They're still used boiled in mead or honey to ease stubborn coughs, sometimes with added pepper. And in homeopathic remedies, hazel buds are used for draining excess fluid from the body and to restore elasticity in lung tissues. They're also used to treat some liver and kidney conditions, pulmonary fibrosis, that was a tough one, and emphysema. Now, as a vibrational essence, hazel assists in breaking free of old patterns. It allows us to seek inspiration, new ways of behaving, and a new path through life. It will help unleash potential and assist those who are rigid in their thinking to go with the flow. Still going back to that salmon, going to the sea and coming back. It is useful to support those undertaking a course of study and the development of skill, and it brings stability, banishes confusion, and eases clear communication. Beautiful. I love the hazel for all of those things. Now, your divination meaning, when drawn upright, ancestral wisdom, that means your guides, your spirit guides, your ancestors are speaking to you. Inspiration, enlightenment, and divine wisdom. So listen up. Now, drawn reversed, ignorance, disillusionment, and you're ignoring that guidance, that inspiration. It could be that you have an idea, but you're not acting on it. So there you go. All right. That was Coll, Hazel, the Poet's Tree. I hope you enjoyed it. I know these sessions are getting shorter, and that's just because I give you so much information that it's overwhelming for me and for you. And so I've shortened these down. So if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. Please give this video a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Next is the court apple. So we'll be talking about apple, and yay, because so magical. I love the apple tree. So please visit my website at theveiledcottagewitch.com, where you can book a service, book a reading, book a class, book a workshop. You can also shop my online store where you can find holistic healing products and ritual and spell aids. Just remember at checkout to enter the code word all caps veiled to get your free shipping. That's my gift from me to you just for watching this video. If you'd like to financially support this channel, there are a few ways down in the description box to do that, but not necessary. Just live your best life and live for yourself. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.